I think about that a lot. What Michael's life could have been if he had never raised his right hand and swore an oath to his country. Michael could have gone on to college, but instead he chose to serve, knowing full well a brutal war was in his future. He could have gone to work at a Picatinny Arsenal, just like his mother did. She was younger. But instead he chose sacrifice and service before his own needs. What would Mike's life would have been? What did Mike give up? Michael's mother, Dawn, will never be able to see her son walk down the aisle or dance with him at his wedding. Because Michael chose to care more about others than himself. Maybe he would have grown old enough to see his grandkids and hear him laughing at his ridiculous jokes. Maybe he would have retired, lived out his days in a cabin in the Blue Ridge Mountains in Tennessee, which he had mentioned several times. I thought about this for many days. What life would be like for my friend if he had chosen a different path. But I know deep down in my soul, there never was a different path for him. Mike was put on this earth to be a leader of men, to be the leader of men in combat. He was born to be a soldier. A non-commissioned officer led his men by example and took the burden of hard work and long hours so that his men could be able to rest after long missions. He was born to be the type of man to risk his own safety and his own life to protect the men during intense firefights. And as much as it pains for me to know this, Mike was born so that one day he would be killed in Afghanistan and die in the arms of the men who loved him. It's hard for any of us to fathom the idea of willingly giving up your life for others. It is hard for any of us to understand this idea. But Mike knew when he took his oath and said those words that he ultimately was signing his life over freely. Mike knew that joining the Army when he did, after September 11th, that he might not live long enough to get married, to buy a home, to have kids, or live long enough for one day he would be able to bury his parents in a beautiful hillside cemetery in Hopticon, and not the other way around. It's hard for us to understand why Mike, like so many other young men and women, are not here with us today, and we're taken so young. But what brings me peace in my heart is that I know that one day I'll be reunited with my brother, and it will be in a place where pain, war, and fear are nothing but words that hold no meaning to us. Until that joyous day, I will continue to live my life and be thankful, truly thankful for the life Mike gave up in order for me to live in my freedom. I will continue to be thankful for the sacrifice and love showed for his brothers in arms. I will be thankful for the sacrifice he made for all of us to be here today and give him the honor and respect he so deserves. I encourage everyone here today to never forget what young men and women are willing to give. I encourage everyone here today to never forget what young men and women are willing to give, so we may live our lives without fear, devastation, horror that plagues most of this world. I ask you to please teach your loved ones, especially your children, and let them know that they owe so much to the brave men and women and the poor few who had died for our way of life. Teach them, tell them about my friend, Sergeant Michael Kirspel, and tell them there are heroes that will still do all they can do to keep them safe. This October 27th, I want you guys to mark that down, put it in your phones. I want you to remember that day, and I want you to pass that day on. I want you to remember that one of your own raised his hand and gave his life for you, willingly. God bless you all. God bless Sergeant Michael Donut Kirspel. Till we meet again.